You have the best quarterback in the playoffs in Josh Allen looking to stake his claim as an all-time great, bring a championship to the city of Buffalo, going up against the number two defense in the AFC, a team that's looking for revenge off of last year's wild card blowout. You have the best defense in the NFC, the Seattle Seahawks, led by Sam Darnold, who Minnesota said, "We don't want you, Sam. We don't want you. We're going to go with JJ McDogshit." You have them hosting a team in San Francisco that has just been riddled with injuries. You talk about a team that's faced adversity this season. You're talking about the San Francisco 49ers. No Bosa, no Kittle, no Warner. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. No Pearsall. Brandon Ayuk looks like he gained 40 pounds. That guy's probably never stepping on a football field again. Doesn't matter. You have this team led by Brock Purdy. He's one of the most underrated, underappreciated quarterbacks in the NFL. And wins aren't a quarterback stat, but that guy has 4 game-winning drives in 7 touchdown games. He is an absolute baller. The only 2 playoff games the Niners have lost with Brock Purdy, he left the field in the Super Bowl in overtime with a lead, and he got hurt against the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. All the Niners know this millennium is NFC Championship games, but they're 7.5-point underdogs against their bitter division rival that they just played 3 weeks ago for the division in San Francisco, but no Trent Williams, no rookie Pearsall. Both of those guys are making a return. I think that game is going to be cinema. 7 points is way too much. We'll get more in depth in all these games as well. And then the Sunday slate, I mean, it's just it's unbelievable. Texans, Patriots, Drake May, or I like to call him Drake the schedule May. Drake overrated as fuck May. Drake played 0 top 10 scoring defense all season. The first time he played one, the Patriots scored 16 points May, led by Will Campbell, Will the traffic cone Campbell, Will the turnstile Campbell, Will I'm a fight and die Campbell, and Morgan Moses as a right tackle. That guy is geriatric, belongs in an elderly institution where you go and wait to die. He's fossilizing, and you have Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson ready to pin their ears back against those 2 tackles. You have the best defense in the NFL, the best defense since the Legion of Boom, the no-fly zone, that 2018 Patriots defense that doesn't have a nickname. You have one of the best defense in the NFL, and this Texans team has played everybody. They played 5 of the 7 teams remaining in this playoff picture already this year. They play a team in New England that played the Panthers, the Bills twice, and the Chargers. It's unbelievable. You have a team that's been tested versus a team that hasn't been tested in Foxborough. Are the Patriots back? Biggest test of Drake May's career. CJ Stroud pissed down his leg against the Steelers, but it didn't matter because this Texans defense is that good. And then the nightcap. Sunday Night Football. Mike Tirico on the call, as he should be. And what is the game of the week? The Cinderella Chicago Bears, but we need to stop calling them Cinderellas because at this point they have just shocked the world time and time again. This is expected out of this team in Chicago, led by a nail-painting, fruity Caleb Williams, who has Patrick Mahomes upside. He really does. He makes some of the most unbelievable throws. The comeback kids in Chicago are hosting Matthew Stafford, the MVP, the best coach in the league, Sean McVay, a team that's been here before. They've done it. They've won Super Bowls. Devontae Adams has played in these big games. Puka Nacua has played in these big games. One of the best offensive lines in football, and a fierce front 7 in LA that shouldn't be overlooked are taking on we haven't been here before. Literally DJ Moore's first winning season since high school. We haven't been here before against the guys that have been here year in and year out. Something's got to give. What a slate we have this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Let's dive right into it. Last week, I'm going to give out a bunch of picks, gambling, and like who I think is going to win these games. I love the slate. I feel like I'm seeing the board very, very clearly. Last episode on Wildcard Weekend, I went 4-4 with the picks that I gave out. The picks I didn't give out in terms of like the player prop markets and some other stuff that I took based on vibes on that game. So I didn't give any of those out, but I was really in the green in my own personal account. But we don't go by that on this channel, on this show. We go by what I said on the episode, and what I said on the episode went 2-1 on Monday, or 2-1 on Saturday, 2-0 on Monday, 0-3 on Saturday. We're looking to do better than that. On the year so far, we are 161 and 129 and 1 in our picks since week 4. Without further ado, let's start and let's dive deep into every single one of these games. Bills at Broncos. The Bills have the number 1 rushing attack in the NFL. James Cook was held under 60 yards last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have the best run defense in the league. Right behind them is Denver. 5 yards per carry out of James Cook, top 5 in total offense, top 5 in scoring offense, and that is with Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman as Josh Allen's number one receivers. Talk about a carry job. They are eighth in yards per attempt. This offense goes as James Cook and as far as James Cook and Josh Allen will take it. Josh Allen's been sacked a career high 40 times this season. Not ideal stat when you're going up against the Broncos defense that leads the NFL in sacks. 800-yard receivers. 2 of the 3 receivers on the Bills offense are tight ends. Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, Tyrell Shavers just onto the IR. There are 3 active receivers on this Bills roster. We're talking Brandon Cooks. That guy's a fossil. Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman, I believe, is the other one. That guy had 400 yards this season. Not ideal out of your first round pick in Keon there. Not good stuff. Let me make sure it is Keon. I think it's Keon Tyrell or Keon. Yeah, Keon, Brandon Cooks, Khalil Shakir. Not ideal stuff there out of this Bills receiving core. And 4 out of the 5 losses that the Bills have this season, James Cook has not eclipsed 100 yards. This Broncos defense is the real deal. They are led by one of the best defensive lines of this decade. Best pass defense in the NFL, allowing less than 5 yards per pass attempt. Number 1 in yards allowed per play as a defense. They lead the NFL in sacks. They're second in pressure rate. And their run defense is second in the NFL, allowing less than 4 yards per carry. They have the goods to stop this Bills rushing attack. Put it all on Josh Allen and his 3 active receivers, Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid. The only flaw that this Denver Broncos defense has is that they do not create turnovers. 28th in the NFL in turnover percentage. And in every game the Bills have lost this season, Josh Allen has either fumbled or thrown an interception. They are 3-5 in games where Josh Allen has a turnover. Turn Josh over and your chance of winning, as is every game, but especially with the Bills this season. They haven't lost a game where Josh Allen hasn't turned the ball over. The Broncos don't generate a lot of turnovers. I think that could be the difference. And the Broncos offense is just not that good, man. It's not that good. It's not bad. It's not great. It's incredibly inconsistent. They start games out slow. And what type of Bo Nix are you getting? Are you getting the 4-touchdown Bo Nix against a healthy Green Bay Packers defense? Are you getting the didn't complete 60% of his passes, 1 touchdown, 2 interception Bo Nix that we saw against the Las Vegas Raiders earlier in this year? It's just very hard to know what type of offense you're going to get out of this Broncos team on a week in, week out basis. These teams played each other last year. The Bills played the Broncos last year in the playoffs, and although they are different teams, it's not that different. The Broncos defense definitely better this year with the additions of Talona Afunga, Jade Barron, Jay Greenlaw and company. The defensive line took it up another notch as well. And this Bills offense, they run the ball a whole lot better than they did a year ago. James Cook wasn't even a 1,000-yard rusher a year ago, but the weapons on the outside aren't as consistent. Something has to give. And what's giving is that I trust Josh Allen so much more than I trust Bo Nix. Josh Allen has been an incredible playoff performer, a top 5 playoff performer in the history of the NFL. It's just he has to play against the best playoff performer of all time in Patrick Mahomes. No Patrick Mahomes this year. This Jacksonville Jaguars team that the Bills beat last week beat this Broncos team less than a month ago in Mile High by 2 touchdowns. Give me the Bills. Give me Josh Allen. As a Jets fan, it pains me to say this. I think the Bills are a real wagon. I think this is it for Josh Allen. This is a team of destiny. He's going to be putting the team on his back, and he's getting into the end zone to take him anytime touchdown as well. It's just so hard, so hard to bet against Josh Allen when the QB matchup is Josh Allen and Bo Nix. How are you going to bet against him? I bet against him last week, but also remember, I said in last week's episode, you guys can clown me for taking the Jags all you want. You're allowed to do that. But I said whoever wins that game is getting out of the AFC, and they're going to go through Mile High because Jacksonville did it already. The Bills beat Jacksonville. They're going to take care of Denver. They're going to take care of Bo Nix. Give me Josh Allen. Give me this Bills defense. That their pass defense is pretty good. Are they the best pass defense in the league? I don't think so. They allowed at least amount of passing yards. That's a fact, or at least in the regular season they did. I don't think they're that good. I just think teams would rather run the ball and chew up clock and keep Josh Allen off the field. And if you can run the ball at 5 yards a carry, why even try to pass the football? But their pass defense is good, and they were making plays last year. Cole Bishop has been a revelation. Christian Benford's a stud. Tre'Davious White made the game sealing play last week as well. Teron Johnson's a good player as well, and they do have serviceable edge rushers in Rousseau, Joey Bosa, AJ Epinesa. Matt Milano is decent. He's not what he was 3-4 years ago, but he's still decent. This defense is not horrible, and I don't trust this Broncos offense. I think they can create a few turnovers off of Bo. Who knows what type of Bo Nix you're going to get. Give me the Bills on the money line. Take them at +1.5. That's what we're putting on the slip. I already bet the Bills on the money line the second I saw the matchup. It's my biggest bet of the weekend. I love the Bills, and I love Josh Allen rushing touchdown. He has a rushing touchdown in 5 of his last playoff games. This is easily the most Josh Allen has had to carry an offense in his entire career. It is crazy. So I think he's getting in. He's getting in the end zone. That's at -120 as well. That's the only action on this game. For the Sunday games, I have a lot of stuff that I like. There is so much stuff that I like in the Sunday games, so make sure you stay tuned. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button. Follow me on TikTok if you're watching on YouTube too, because I go live on there all the time once I'm back from my ban. Hit the like button too if you're enjoying the video. San Francisco at Seattle, as I just spilled water all over myself. Seattle 7.5-point favorites. Seattle's defense is as good as anybody's in the NFL besides maybe Houston. Number 1 in scoring defense, 2nd in yards allowed per play, 5th in interceptions, 2nd in yards allowed per pass attempt, 1st in air yards, top 10 in pressure rate and sacks, but 26th in blitz percentage. So they're just getting pressure. They don't need to simulate it, and they're still going to get after you. They have got guys all over the defensive line. DeMarcus Lawrence, Leonard Williams, Byron Murphy, excuse me. Byron Young's on the Rams. We'll get to him later. They have studs. Ernest Jones should have been an all-pro. He might have been an all-pro. I don't remember. Don't quote me on that. And then in the secondary, it's just athletic freaks all over the place. Tariq Woolen, Devin Witherspoon, who's not afraid to come downhill and smack you. Nicky Manwari, Julian Love. They got guys all over this defense. And their defense ranked number 1 in expected points contributed, which is like if you get a turnover in field possession, or if you win the field position battle with your defense, with 81. They were number 1. The Texans is second with 65. They don't just turn you over. They turn you over, and they got a nose for the end zone, these Seattle Seahawks. I love this Seahawks defense. I love this Seahawks team. It's just how much can you trust Sam Darnold? This team will go as far as Sam will take them. And the answer is, in this game, I trust Sam Darnold a lot. I think the Seahawks win this game. I think they do have a good chance to cover. I do think they have a good chance to blow out this Niners team, but I will not bet that. You think you're going to give me Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy, who in his 2 playoff losses left the Super Bowl in overtime with a lead and got hurt against the Eagles early on. It was the only time they've lost. You're going to give me Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy, who have more playoff experience than McDonald and Sam Darnold. You're going to give me a divisional matchup against these 2 opponents. One quarterback, 1 head coach, way more playoff experience than the other. You're giving me 7-point underdogs? And I understand that the Niners the Niners defense can't rush the passer worth a lick. I understand no George Kittle. It's going to be the Christian McCaffrey show, but Christian McCaffrey has been inefficient against the Seahawks this year. Are they getting Ricky Pearsall back? Maybe. The Seahawks just held this Niners offense to 3 points a week ago, but they didn't have Trent Williams. They didn't have Ricky Pearsall. This is a different football team than we saw in Week 18. Brock Purdy is balling. He's good for an interception a game. I will concede that. And the Seahawks defense is top 5 in interceptions. But you're going to give me Shanahan and Purdy against Darnold and McDonald, who have limited playoff experience at the 7-point underdogs. Give me Purdy. Give me Shanahan. I think there is a small chance you could take the money line here for San Francisco. If Christian McCaffrey catches that pass on the goal line, they likely score. That's a 13-10 football game. It's not like the Seattle Seahawks are moving the ball. San Francisco are moving the ball easily against this Niners defense either. Give me San Francisco to cover the 7.5 in this game. That's my least confident bet of the week. My unit. I've upped my units. Let's just say I've upped my unit a little bit. So what was a normal unit is what I'm going to put on this, but it's turned into a half unit now. That's where we're going. Let me make sure I did a lot of yapping. Let me just go through my notes here and make sure I said everything that I wanted to say. Purdy averages the most interceptions per game out of any quarterback left in the playoffs, even though Sam Darnold leads the NFL in turnovers. The Seahawks are top 5 in interceptions. Sam Darnold also leads the NFL in turnovers. 49ers doesn't create a lot of them, so the turnover margin leans slightly Seattle. But it's like 7 points in a divisional game in the regular season is a lot, especially with 2 teams as talented as these 2, despite San Francisco's injuries. But in the playoffs, where one coach and QB has way more playoff experience than the other, San Fran at +7 is it's crazy to me. I got to take them here. I got to take them to cover. It just logically makes so much sense. Texans, Patriots. Oh man, if you're here, if you are familiar with my content, you understand how I feel about this New England Patriots team. Now is the time. If all of my yapping has paid off. Last week I bet the Chargers, obviously, because I'll never bet on the Patriots. Really, I did against the Ravens. I will admit that. It was the worst. It was just I don't like betting on teams I hate. Like I want them to do bad, but I also need to help my bank account. It's just a tough spot to be in. I've been saying this since week 8. If the Patriots have to play a team like Denver or Houston in the playoffs, it's going to get ugly. And here we are. The Patriots are playing the Houston Texans. The Texans have been playing playoff games all year. They have already played 5 of the 7 teams that are still remaining in the playoffs. They played the AFC West. They played the NFC West. They played on a first place schedule. They played the Jacksonville Jaguars twice. They are battle tested. The Patriots have played 4 games this season against teams above 500. They are 2-2 in those games. They have played one defense that was top 10 in points allowed per game. That was last week against the Chargers. Drake May had 2 fumbles and an interception, and the offense scored 16 points. Drake May, who's Mr. Completion Percentage, didn't complete 60% of his passes against the Chargers defense. No disrespect to the Chargers defense. It ain't this Texans defense, okay? Tui Pelotu, Khalil Mack are great edge rushers. It's not Will Anderson. It's not Danielle Hunter. Their linebackers, Diane Henley's a solid linebacker. It's not Aziz Al-Shaair. It's not Henry Toto. It's not EJ Speed. And then don't even get me started on Petrie, Kamari Lassiter, Derek Stingley, and the boys in this Texans secondary. This defense is as good as the Legion of Boom, the no-fly zone. That's the type of level this defense is on. Best defense of this decade. Will Campbell is an absolute traffic cone. Will, the traffic cone Campbell, whose draft stock rose because he had good quotes in a press conference that one time. Will Anderson is going to abuse that boy. Drake May is going to get sacked 8 times in this game. He's good for an interception. The only problem is I don't trust CJ Stroud without Nico Collins and this Texans offense. So give me the under all day in this game, but give me the best defense against a quarterback making his second ever playoff start, his second start this season against a top 10 defense, and it happens to be the best defense in the NFL. Give me Houston all day here. And now really on a more there's so much I love in this game. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plays that I love in this game. I love the under more than anything. Okay, I really do. And I love the Patriots. The Patriots team total under is at 22.5 here. What the fuck are we doing? They scored 16 points last week against a Chargers defense that is good. It is a good defense. Not as good as this Texans defense. Not even close, especially the Texans defensive line against this garbage Patriots offensive line. Give me a break. They are not scoring 23 points unless CJ Stroud throws a couple of pick sixes, throws a couple of interceptions, gets them in good field position, drops a million snaps again, and that is what worries me. So give me CJ Stroud interception at basically even money. Give me Drake May interception at basically even money as well. Both of those are in there. Danielle Hunter sack all day long here. And I am putting this on my slip, but we're going to count it as a half unit. So if this bet hits, then it's plus. So it'll be like 1.5. It'll be hypothetically, if this bet hits, I'll finish this episode 6.5 and 2, if that's my record. Or if it doesn't hit, I'll be 6 and 2.5. And that is Will Anderson to get 2 sacks at plus 357. I like those odds all day long. So just to recap on this game, there's 6 plays here. The under 40.5. The Patriots team total under 22.5. The Texans plus 3. Drake May interception. CJ Stroud interception. Danielle Hunter sack. Will Anderson half play, 2 sacks plus 350. That's what I love in this game. And offensively, before the Houston offense closed the regular season playing some good ball. CJ Stroud in his last 4 games only took 1 sack, 7 touchdowns to 2 picks. The offense is averaging 28 points per game since December up until their game against Pittsburgh. Obviously, the only thing that scares me, man, is CJ Stroud pisses down his leg in this game the way Justin Herbert did, because they just sent the house, and Justin Herbert has better weapons than CJ Stroud does, especially if Nico Collins doesn't play. So that does worry me, but there's another thing about this game, about that Chargers game that the Patriots played last week. There were guys open in the secondary. Justin Herbert wasn't letting it rip. There were opportunities. There were whole shots to be made there. If there's one thing about CJ Stroud, he's going to let it fucking rip. He's not a little pussy. He threw for a gazillion yards in the Rose Bowl once upon a time. He played a daunted Cleveland Browns defense in his first ever start as a rookie. That was one game. He is a God-fearing man, and I think God is on CJ's side. God is on everybody's side, by the way. Shout out Jesus Christ died for our sins. CJ Stroud, Houston Texans are going to beat this team. CJ Stroud is going to bounce back in a way that we have not seen anybody bounce back since last week when Caleb Williams and the Bears did it in the second half against Green Bay. Give me CJ Stroud to go off in this game. Not go off, but not turn the ball over 3 times. That was his first interception in the red zone last week since 2023, ladies and gentlemen. He is very good at not turning the ball over in the red area, and he did it last week. I don't know what was wrong with him. I think he'll be fine. He's a confident guy, short memory guy. Not that I know him personally, but I can just tell by his demeanor. I'm all in on CJ. I'm all in on this Texans team. They beat the Patriots. They go to the AFC Championship game to take on Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, a team that they beat with Davis Mills earlier this season. Give me Houston and give me the under 40.5, the under 22.5 Patriots team total. Give me the Texans +3. Give me the Drake May to throw an interception, CJ Stroud to throw an interception, Danielle Hunter sack, Will Anderson half unit, 2 sacks. Rams at Bears in Soldier Field. The Rams are 3.5 point favorites. I'm so fired up for this game. When I first saw this game, I leaned Rams. I really did, because usually when there's something crazy, when there's like after the Minneapolis Miracle is one example, they got boat raced against the Eagles in the NFC Championship game that year. What other crazy? There was another one too that I just can't remember. I had in my mind ready, locked, and loaded to go. But either way, there's like if a team has a ridiculous win, a ridiculous upset, emotional win, usually the next week they lay an egg. But then I went back and I thought Patrick Mahomes had a million comebacks like that. So I guess that point is mute if you have a good quarterback. The Bears have a good quarterback. The Bears have a gamer at QB, and his name is Caleb. I paint my nails, but I'm going to throw all over your defense, Williams. Okay? That guy is the real deal. That guy is the most clutch player in these playoffs, not named Josh Allen. He has legitimate Patrick Mahomes upside. This Ben Johnson offense has been cooking. This Bears defense really buckled down in the second half of that Packers game in a way we haven't seen them buckle down all year. They have their work cut out for them. I don't think they win this game, but I bet you I know one thing's for certain. They're keeping it close. They're not going down without a fight here. Because the Rams, they have the number one. The Rams have the number one offense in points, yards, first downs, passing yards, adjusted yards per pass attempt, passing touchdowns. They're number one in red zone touchdown, last in penalties, 25th in turnover percentage, 7th in rushing yards, 6th in yards per carry. This Rams offense is a complete wagon going up against a Bears defense that is 28th in yards allowed per pass attempt, 29th in yards allowed per carry. This Bears offense is explosive, but it's not as explosive as the Rams. This Bears defense does have Kyler Gordon back now. They do have Jalen Johnson. It's not enough. It is not enough against the guy in Matthew Stafford who only has turned the ball over in 5 games this season against a Bears defense that is really reliant on the turnover. I think the Bears are going to go up and down the field, or the Rams are going to go up and down the field at will against this Bears defense. However, I think this Bears offense is not going to go down without a fight. And Caleb Williams and the Bears have been, he's his second lowest sack rate in the NFL. Only the Denver Broncos have allowed a lower sack rate than this Bears team. You neutralize this Rams front seven, their corners are inconsistent. There are big plays to be had against this Rams secondary. Bryce Young cooked this Rams secondary. Caleb Williams with Luther Bird and Rome Odunze, DJ Moore playing his first football when it matters on a winning team since high school. Colston Loveland, there is going to be plays to be had down the field against this Rams defense if they can protect Caleb, and Caleb has been protected. And even if they can't, good luck sacking this guy. Good luck, Emmanuel Forbes. Good luck, Quentin Lake covering these Bears pass catchers while Caleb Williams runs around and makes Braden Fisk, Byron Young, Poona Ford look silly, and then 80 yards to Rome Odunze, touchdown. I love the over in this game. I'm getting it right now early at 48.5. But that is very dependent. If it's monsooning, or not monsooning, if there's a blizzard, I'm putting this on the record right now. If there is a blizzard, we are avoiding this bet from my thing. But if there is no snow, no increment weather, if it's just cold, I love the over 48.5 in this game as well. And let me tell you one thing right here. Colston Loveland's line right now is at 57.5 yards. That line is going to get up to 65 by the time kickoff comes in. Go run to your sports book right now and take Colston Loveland over 57.5 receiving yards. He's averaging 13 targets and 107 yards over the last 3 games against a Rams defense that's weakness is in the secondary. You're going to have Nate Landman as lined up on Colston Loveland. Quentin Lake lined up on Colston Loveland. And the Rams defense goes as the pass rush does with Byron Young, Jared Verse, Poona Ford, etc. This Bears defense, second lowest sack rate allowed in the NFL, or Bears offensive line. Okay. Colston Loveland over 57.5 receiving yards as I'm recording this on Tuesday or on Thursday morning at 3:30 a.m. That is the lock of the week, ladies and gentlemen. He is getting 58 receiving yards. That line's going to be 60, 61, 62 by the time this game kicks off Sunday night. It might even get up to 65. Go sprint and take that all day long. 13 targets over and 107 yards over the past 3 games. He is Caleb's go-to guy. Okay. And this game is going to be a barn burner. Give me the over. And then I really wanted to take the Rams because I'm a Stafford guy. They're my Super Bowl pick, but this Bears team is just a team of destiny. It really is. And I think this Bears offense is a good matchup against this Bears defense where they don't get pass rush. You can expose these guys in the back end. Luther Burden has come on strong as of during the back half of the year. Colson Loveland even stronger. DJ Moore-Romadunze. And I think Ben Johnson's looking at this secondary in LA and he's licking his chops. He really is. So I love the over in this game. I think the Bears cover 3.5, but at the end of the day, it's Matthew Stafford, it's Devontae Adams, it's Puka Nacua. You're not fucking covering these guys. And the Bears defense, teams have just moved up and fucking down that Bears defense all season long. Only when they're creating turnovers is this defense legit. Stafford does also have 5 of his 9 turnovers over the last 5 weeks of the season, or over the last 5 weeks, last 4 weeks of the regular season and the playoff game. Okay. So he's turned the ball over more since December than he did the entire season leading up to December. Worth noting against a defense that leads the league in interceptions and turnovers. Okay. So give me the over, give me the Bears, give me Colston Loveland over 57.5 yards. And that's a wrap on divisional round preview, divisional round script, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you everybody for listening. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button if you're watching on YouTube as well. I'll talk to you guys later on YouTube.